Okay, so it's 10 to 5. I just got up like a little while ago. But, anyways, I'm just starting because it's like I've seen a few videos this morning that, but there's some weird shit, man. It's so fucking weird. Like, I don't even know. As for a few days, it's been seeming really super strange to me, and I'm sure I've mentioned it. And the not just the sound, but the moisture. It's weird, man. And and they keep changing our weather thing. Like it'll say there's going to be no rain, and then all of a sudden there's rain, for a day, and then it skips a couple days, and then there's rain, and it skips a couple days, and there's rain, and then it's all cloudy in between. Now all of a sudden it's all sunny in between. And I'm not using my cup. I'll have to get my copper cup over here because now I've heard stainless steel is leaking lead. So, I've got such fucking horrible pain in my, I don't know, connective tissue or joints or something. I don't know. It's just like an attack of these chemicals. And we've been so fogged in. And it's not in my fucking mind because the dogs have the same shit start happening, and I can tell. It's easy to tell when Stella has got inflammation. And then plus we're just psychically connected. And I swear to God, there's something with Max too. Like I'll feel something, and then all of a sudden he starts itching that part on his body. Like there's weird shit. So anyways, for a few days, I kept feeling like it's about to rain. I could smell it. You could feel it. It was just like this denseness, this heaviness and stuff. And then it wasn't raining. And I was like, man, this is so weird. And it was like that for a couple days. And then it started raining. So it's been raining for a couple days. I think this is the third day now. And the heater thing has been weird because of, I don't know, it's weird. The temperatures outside, like my yard is different than the rest of the places. Because I left the yard yesterday again and went outside of it. I think it was yesterday. And then when the sun beats down and it's hot under the sun, but I don't have the sun. The sun can't even get over the top of my trees anywhere. Like the sun, it just goes out the side. It barely goes over the roof of my house. It swings out. It doesn't go over. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And I think a lot of people don't get these perspectives because of how we live, and they set things up so we don't see things right. And we don't see things. One thing I started noticing when I was doing this drive into town when my daughter was still here, and I go over to hang over at her house. We go do stuff like every weekend. We hung out together, and I would drive over there, and I would be driving into town, and I started seeing like this atmosphere where it was like, it's an atmosphere here, it's a different one here. Like it was weird. Like I could see like the petri dishes or something. Is it when you're way out? And then that, when I start traveling on all of the state highways, because she left, she quit talking to me right after, and it was like April or May or something in 2020. And so, and I had moved here in March of 2019. So before that, we were going and doing stuff all the time. But then everything started changing. And then I started going on road trips by myself and started, it's just as weird when you look back and you see how things fall into place. Because when you're in it, it doesn't feel so much that way. But when you look back, it's like, oh my gosh, everything's so fucking perfect. It's crazy. So I was having this weird thing with this burping and burping. And my daughter even said, because she had never burped, she said that she had never burped, and then she moved over here and she started burping. And so she liked it. She was like, finally I can burp. And here, to me, I was like, there's something weird. It's just like I burp and burp and burp. Like there's something weird with the atmosphere or something. And then I could leave here and that doesn't happen. But it hasn't been happening in like a while. Yesterday I was trying to think of like, when did that stop? And I don't know, like right now, I feel like I'm in some water thing and it's like moving. Like I feel like I'm sensing a density that people aren't sensing yet or something. Because we are in water, like we're around water. Everything is like more of an ocean than it is like how it's different densities of vibration. And so and like I'm getting all these things in my mind of like us being birthed in water, being underwater. Like there's a lot of things, and it's like it's not like we're aquatic, but I don't know. I don't know. There's something about it, you know, because we come out in water, like we are in a water sac when we are developing. And then, so water isn't foreign to us. There's like, but we can drown, but then you take the water out of their lungs and the people can come back. It depends. I don't know. There's something, I don't know. You know, it's just something to, I feel like it just is like to make sure to not have fear. Like, you know, like, oh, we're all this water, we're going to drown. Like there's going to be drownings, but it's going to be, there's going to be so much of the death is going to be the people who weren't paying attention, who didn't care or whatever. And I messaged my brother yesterday and asked him when he was going, he said next year sometime. I said, well, stay safe. And he said, you know, but he's a fireman. He said he's trying to be home more, not going, because it's out, it's wild, man. Southern Cal, like, what? And he's a LA fireman. Fuck, man. When the earthquake goes, and it's like everybody knows it's about to go. This earthquake, and it's going to rock LA. It's going to rock the whole fucking West Coast. And I'm seeing more people now who are getting this thing about evacuation, and I'm seeing more things saying now. It's like the universe is evacuating them with the fires. What was I saying? Like, you just got to read things through the universe and understand what it is they're trying to promote, what it is they're trying to do. And I'm still not telling everybody, you know, like I know some of y'all live in California. And I'm not saying you guys are stupid. You should be leaving. But you got to listen to what's inside. Because like I've said before, we're all where we're supposed to be at all times. And a door will open up. You know, and sometimes it's the motivation. Has to be triggered in you. And once the trigger is set, then you think in a different direction, so those doors start opening. But you have to set the trigger. Like you have to develop the want, the desire. So you have to be like, fuck, I want to get out of here. This is like feeling dangerous. So, but then there's some people are just like, no, you just need to sit here, stay here. Because you may be the person who's going to save your neighbor's life. You know, you just don't know what's written in the stars. And so you have to go with the flow and not fight the current. Not, you know, fight against, get caught up in what you think. So that's the whole thing. But I gotta get back to this water thing because this is just fucking weird. So, because the water's going to rise and now, you know, there's so much talk of this big tsunami, and this tsunami, they're saying this water is going to come in up to Arizona. There's one woman was saying that she started getting messages that she needed to get to northern Arizona. And in the doomsday map, the only part of Arizona that's left is way over the most northeastern coast part of Arizona. So the part that's the closest over there is like a strip of it left. So if you're going to go towards Arizona, make sure you're looking at these maps. The map, again, yesterday I looked at, I was going up close, and it looks like my area is going to be an island. But, you know, that's still, but no matter what, my doors haven't opened. And the desire has been set, like, for a couple years. So don't get all caught up. Well, I told them when to leave, and they haven't told me anything, and now I'm fucking scared. Well, because you're supposed to be working on your fear and your trust. So you've got to find balance in there. So that's, yeah, this stuff isn't easy. It's not fucking easy. None of this is easy. So it's going to challenge you emotionally, mentally, and if you are fighting fear, it's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. You got to work through it. So, anyways, and the stainless steel cup thing. So I'll say that real quick because I was, using my copper cup and leave it overnight. And then I poured in my stainless cup and then I refill my copper cup. So it's doing the next one. And then I drink out of the stainless cup. And I had a plastic one. Then they were talking all about the plastic is leaching in. And it's these expensive fucking Starbucks cups too, dude. Like $40 fucking dollars. And yeah, I loved that cup. It was fucking huge and it was lightweight. I'm so full of fucking snot. And it was, it's like, yeah, really heavy duty kind of, I don't know, resin plastic or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. But obviously it's poison. Every motherfucking thing in our goddamn fucking environment's poison. I'm so fucking sick of this fucking attack and making us sick. I'm so fucking sick of it. I just want to scream my fucking head off sometimes. And sometimes I do. And so I quit using the plastic one and I got back out the stainless one because I had gotten it around, I don't know, sometime when I was spending $40 on cups. And so I had, and at the time, it wasn't while I was still a nurse. I was already, in my new financial world, but I drink water all the time. I wanted a cup that I didn't, because I don't want to use water bottles and stuff. I just wanted a cup that I use, And so it seemed worth the money to me at the time. So I got in the stainless one, then I found it was just so heavy. It was this big metal cup, and it was like, fuck, that one's so heavy. So I didn't use it all the time. I just kept it in the cabinet. Then when the plastic bullshit started, then I was like, well, I better get out the stainless one and use that, like metal, like what could, metal and glass seem to be the safest. And they're selling all these things, stainless steel. You need to use those pans instead of Teflon. You need to use cast iron, really. That's what we really got to get back to. But I've even heard bad things about ceramic, like all this stuff. It's just as mental. It just fucking swishes your fucking mind. And so I, was using a stainless cup. Now they're coming out and saying, oh no, those are full of lead. You got to put up your stainless cups and not use those. And I had heard about all those fake Stanley cups where had lead from China, that they were selling these. They weren't real. They sell everything as these knockoffs. They are the kings of knockoff. And so that's what I had heard about those cups. I didn't know it was like all the cups. So now you're saying every fucking cup, the Starbucks, all our stainless steel cups are all fucking leaching lead and heavy metals into our watering system. So I'm taking a few days off of that to see if there is a change, like in this, in any of this stuff, any of the allergies, the pain, the autoimmune, all this bullshit. I'm so fucking God. So aggravating. But where things are just getting so weird to me right now is like I said before, my oven had stopped working. My heater, my oven, and my dryer had all stopped on the same day. And so I still use the dryer, but I hang up the clothes because the dryer won't heat up. And my oven is still, I use a stove, but the oven won't work. And the heater, I just haven't been using it all the time. So, and I don't know. I mean, at the time when all that was going, I was like, well, we're going to start having a lot of interference with electronics. Things are going to keep falling apart. And you can drive yourself crazy, but, things are going to fall apart. You just got to let go as they fall apart. So I start being like, okay, well, I'm not going to stress out. I'm just going to hang my clothes up to dry, and then I'll put them in when they get more dry. But nothing will dry. It is fucking mental. Max pooped in the house the other day on a rug in my bedroom, and I have no idea when or how or anything. It was weird because it didn't even smell anything. But luckily I didn't go step in it, thank God. But so I had to wash that rug. It's been out trying to dry for days. Like nothing dries. And then when I put something in the dryer, it's like air drying. I can't. One thing that has been driving me so fucking crazy since all of this stuff is noise pollution. Things are so much louder than I ever gave notice to. It's like, I can't even believe that anybody can even go around and not feel anxiety all the time. The amount of noise and stimuli that is going through and processing through our senses is overbearing. And so many of us, we just don't realize it because we're focused on what we're doing and what we got to get done and stuff like that. So our atmosphere, our environment is, we don't focus in on it. And that's why I said it's kind of like this development that is happening is taking us into this kind of phase where we get more in touch with our natural instincts, our natural side. Like I'm always seeing like a deer out in a field and out there eating, then all of a sudden putting its head up and looking around, like the sharpness of paying attention in your environment. That's what we are kind of learning because we've been so consumed by our emotional damage, our sense of self. And so this is transitioning us. And so in this transition, the sounds, man, I just can't even believe it. Like the one day when everybody had their generators on, I was like, how can people handle this? Like, this is so fucking crazy. I mean, it was already bothering me years ago because that is where I started to our HOA lady, where I was bitching about like the fucking noise at the construction thing. It was it was insane. And they were blowing shit up all day and stuff. I was like, this is crazy. How can people live like this? Noise pollution really puts you on edge. And we aren't meant to live like this. Which, one thing the other day, I went up to this little food pantry thing. So they have it at the food bank, but it's an extra one. And sometimes they have good stuff. The other day it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not coming for this anymore. This is like kind of a waste of time. But anyways, I get the food, and no matter what the food is, the dogs are fucking excited. Like, I mean, I got 2 cans of Spam, and the dogs were like, hell yeah, this is good. And so, I still get the stuff. I probably will go again. But what was weird is, because I've talked about this, and I hadn't had the experience in a while, but I had it the other day, and I got too caught up in my head for sure about it. And I could see I should have said something, but I didn't, because I do get in my head and start being like insecure or something. I don't know. I start feeding an insecurity. But when I went, the lady at the front of the line, she knew me. And so she was like, hey, how are you? Or something like that. And then I, pretended like, oh, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, who is this? Who is this? And I'm trying to go through and figure out who it is. And I keep going back to the HOA lady. And her name was Kelly too. And I was thinking, is this Kelly? But that Kelly, she had long hair that was, I don't know, kind of like the color of mine. And I thought she was shorter. And this lady was taller, and she had shorter red hair. But I kept thinking, but that voice reminds me of the HOA lady. And I was like, it was driving me crazy, where I was trying to figure out, who is this person? That was that same thing that I had dealt with so much in the beginning. So, and then there's people I know, like, that I talk to around the neighborhood or something. And if they came up to me outside of where I know them from, I would not know who they were, and I would hurt their feelings. Like, that would still happen. Like, I can totally tell. Like, there's just something with faces. Like, yeah, like when you have this thing that happens with your faces where it has a recognition problem, I think it is, like, I'd seen this in a movie, though. I didn't just come up with this. It was a movie, I can't remember what it was called now. I could try and look it up if somebody wanted to see it. But it was this movie about this woman who had something happen, some kind of brain injury, I think. And she couldn't recognize people's faces. Their faces kept changing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what happens to me. And I was watching it. So she would come up with something to try and, like a marker on their face to try and remember them by, to differentiate them. Like if somebody saw me and then it'd be like, well, there's a lot of girls that, look like that. But she has that mole. I remember, there's a lot of people, but still, but like you could be like she would use like a beard, like recognize like, oh, they have a beard or whatever, try and find something. And so, I try and do that, but then, you come across a lot of people, I mean, all these people who think they're NPCs and stuff. It's like, maybe part of the problem is you, maybe you're not interacting with people, so you don't think people are real or something. But I interact with people. I talk to people, I'm very friendly. And so I always smile, wave, talk to strangers. Like, so there always is people around the neighborhood who come out and talk to me and stuff. And that is where I'm saying that, I could be somewhere else. And if they came up and talked to me, I would be like, fuck, I don't know who the fuck this is. Because that happened to me so fucking much. But anyways, enough of that. So all of the things, when you get an injury or a disability or whatever, when something comes in and changes your life, it will go through phases. And so a lot of people, when it first happens, it's hard to get through the first phases, but things get better. Things get easier. You adapt more but you got to go with that flow to go, you got to be like, everything's okay. It's not the end of the world because something's changed. And you'll go through the part of like loss and guilt and grief and sadness for the person that was lost. Like there was definitely the Kelly who went in, and every time I say it, it gets me super emotional. Hold on. It really gets me emotional. Because it's the Kelly that went into the hospital. It's not the Kelly that came out. Like that Kelly did die. She didn't ever come out of the hospital. And so there is a process of grief that you have to go through. And when something happens, because it's, even if it's, you get in a car wreck and you become paralyzed, the person who you were is gone. You can work back towards going back towards them, but you're going to be a new version of yourself no matter what, because what you've gone through has changed you. So you never go back to who you really were. There's always a change, no matter what. Even if you can, again, get your walking back, which people are doing it. You got to not get caught up in their diagnoses. You got to get caught up in you and what you can do. And don't surrender. You just keep working at it. That's what you're here for. And so, anyways, that I still haven't gotten to this part with this weather. It's like right now, just this t-shirt I have on, it just feels wet. I just got it out of the drawer and it feels wet. Everything feels wet. Everything feels moist. And there's like, so what, like if you have wet clothes and you put them in a drawer and then all the clothes are wet. So it's like every single thing is wet in my house. Like everything is wet. And in my bedroom, so this is where it got strange yesterday. Because it was like, I was doing some laundry and stuff. And I was, and it always seems like, God, it's so wet when I'm doing laundry. And, because then I've got to hang clothes out and stuff. And then, I was in my bedroom doing something. I don't know if I was putting clothes away, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. And but I moved the pillow or something, or I looked at the pillow, and I was like, "What is all over the pillow?" And that was the day before. It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. So I pick up the pillow and I look at it. It's like got this white fuzz all over the pillow. I turn it on the back. It's white fuzz all over the back of the pillow. And it smells like fucking mold on the pillow of my bed. I'm like, what in the hell? And so then the other one is the same thing. So I'm dusting it off and it is coming off, but it's like mold dust, which all these fucking spores and shit have got. Like, that's one thing that is killing people too, is all these fucking mold spores and shit. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. I've been here too fucking long. It's like, come on, universe, fucking open up a path for me, please. Like, I don't know what am I doing here. But you know, the universe has a plan. Like, there's nothing you can do when you're in the, like, I always see that thing, I don't know what else to call it, but this like clock thing, and it's like a what are these cuckoo clocks, Swiss cuckoo clock or something, but there's some really elaborate ones that have been made where there's way more movement, like everything is on this movement. And that is what I always see, is like, when you're on you can't change it. Like, all these people are like, oh, I just jump timelines. I'm just jumping timelines. And I don't die. I just jump timelines. It's like, okay, that's in my reality. That's not how it goes. But everything is on a perfect timer, and everything has this divine timing. It has a set time and place. It's not chaos. Everything has a time and place, and we're always in movement to the next time and place. Like, everything is this like clicking in, and then you go through your rotation over who it's like all these things, these patterns of people and experience and things. And it's trippy too, because like, you could feel like you're a total idiot and you've got nothing to bring to the planet, but this other person, what you have is everything they need, and you could just go right past them. Maybe you interact with them, maybe you don't, but you bring everything they need energetically. It's just like sweeps in, and you know, it goes past them, and you know, it changes their life. So everybody has, there's reasons that you're here, even when you feel like that there's not. You're a part of a plan. You're part of something much bigger. And again, where don't get caught up in thinking that you have control over destiny. The thing you have control over is where you don't, a lot of people don't have control over. They're here to learn how to have control over is their emotions, to be able to handle the things you don't have control. You can't control the things you can't control. You can't control, and you got to find peace with that. That's part of being spiritually advancing, spiritually more, what is that? More developed. So those are the types of things, like these people who are trying to tell you, you know, just, I don't know, manifest $1 million and buy a lot of cute jewelry, and then you are spiritual. That's the 3D spirituality. That's not the real spirituality. Real spirituality is this, you developing you finding you figuring you out, you going deeper into your questions and your understanding into why life exists. What are you doing here? So it's those kinds of things. It's not superficial and shallow like how a lot of people are trying to lead, but it's just because they haven't done the work. Like, they're not really spiritual. They're just pretending. But, you know, it's not, I mean, they could really want to be, but that is where, you know, when the lights come on, they're going to see like, oh, so I was really not doing so. I was just kind of hitting the surface on this. No, it's got to go deeper. You got to face yourself. You got to face parts of yourself that you are not a fan of, and learn to love them. And that is the spiritual journey. And so it's very much about you and developing you. So anyways, so the pillows and all moldy. Then I went and so I can smell, this moldy kind of wetness. And then and I've got, my room is like set up weird now, because I took the other room and I made it kind of more like a closet dressing room kind of room. And but the other room still has, I have a lot of clothes. That's all I gotta say. I really like clothes. And by all appearances, me sitting here always in a t-shirt or something, you think like, what does she put on? A bunch of t-shirts? No. I like to get dressed up. And I have a lot of clothes. And and I have a lot of shoes. I have a lot of, so I have, that whole room could be a whole closet. Like I could have a whole closet, one of those big giant closet rooms. That's my fantasy. So I could have my clothes all organized and I could, see what I want to wear all the time. And so so in the one closet in my room, it's full of clothes and had shoes and stuff. And so I was doing something because I was still in my room, and I pulled out some shoes, and I think I was going to vacuum my room or something. And so I was pulling out these shoes, and there was mold in my motherfucking shoes. And I have baking soda in the closet to try and suck up this weird, because everybody always is like, all your clothes smell like mildew or fire. And it's like, good. Like this house has got, I swear to God, I just live in a giant doghouse. I just decorate it. That's it. And I think there must have been where people were putting up like cabins and stuff like out. Maybe they don't have the same restrictions on building and stuff, but there's no ventilation or something in here. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And so the room back there is this total moistness, fucking mold. And don't forget, this is the haunted room. This is the room with the most activity, which lately there has been so fucking, it's like this big giant thing, like a big giant, like you would say like, what kind of picture, what was that guy's name? Those girls, all those people were like, oh, that big guy is out in the forest. And then and then those little girls thought they had to give him an offering that he tells them they have to do. And this is a true story. And they went and tried to do in their friend, just their offering. I think she lived. And these are young girls. There's so much the young people now, right? I mean, if people need any fucking sign that our society is broken, it's like everywhere around you. Like, if people can't see, we need big change. And there's people showing us the change we need. And I don't think that all these people can't handle making the change that are going to be leaving. There's just a lot of different things going on. And so there's going to be a mass exodus of souls that are going to leave. And, all these people, they want to call it the rapture or whatever. And I still don't know. Maybe those are the people who are going to be leaving because they're not here to face that yet. That there's no savior. Like they're going to still, die on that word or something. Like, I don't know. We just got to wait and see. You see so much is when you get past it. Trying to guess what's about to happen, is a lot harder and drive you crazy. You just got to kind of be like, well, anything can happen, seriously. So, I mean, I would have not thought that my house would start feeling like I'm in water and everything it's like, it's not so like I'm trudging through water, even though I had said for a while, like I think a couple months ago, I said that there's like a density where I feel like I'm walking and it's like, ooh, it's like, there's a density, but I got more used to that. But now it's just like, it's like water, but you can't see it, but you can smell it, and you can feel it on things, like everything's fucking wet, but it's weird. And then how everything, like that room is really, really weird right now. I even turned on the fan to try and dry it out or something, and it is weird. Like you go into it, it's like going into a different atmosphere. And probably as like these doors are portals, it's just like a different atmosphere, and it's weird because I haven't known that there's some other frequency back there, like there's a hole or something, there's like a portal area or something, because there's way too much activity. It's weird because when I moved in, my house wasn't haunted. I was like the first thing I came in to check. It's like, because I fucking have lived in so many haunted houses, it's like I get sick of it. And there was not, there wasn't that feeling in here. It felt very empty. And so I was like, oh, cool, there's no fucking ghost in here. But then weird shit started. And it was started after I had seen, I was on the mushrooms. But I had taken those mushrooms, but I thought it was like, I didn't know it was going to be so fucking intense. And, because I thought it was just going to be like, oh, I'll take a couple of mushrooms, sit and watch a movie and crack up. No, it was fucking intense, man. And all these things I do just are always like a whole fucking other level. It's like, I don't need that shit anymore. I don't need no ayahuasca. I don't need none of that shit. It takes me into a whole nother fucking world. And I just saw a video of some guy talking, and he is saying since the 1950s, they have known that for hours a night that we leave our bodies and we go to other realms. And he was explaining what the other realms were, and that they have certain sounds. Some are water, some are bells, some are flutes, some are these different sounds. It shows you where you are in the different realms. And he was saying that so many people go to this certain realm in their dream state where they don't go outside of that, and that is the nightmare. That is where all of these energies are that are, like I keep on saying, he even referred to the thing as kind of like a purgatory. I've been talking about this kind of stuff. And so this realm, and I think I used to get caught in that realm all the time when I was younger, but it was like this replaying of my that one past life where I was eaten by the tiger. And then but that is so, but I lived my life until I think I was late at my 20s. Every single night I had a nightmare. My whole fucking life, every night was nightmares, nightmares, nightmares. And one thing I had noticed through this awakening, because I was definitely in lower chakra for a long time. And then moving up, and then, because just opening my throat chakra was doing this, that was fucking in 2020. And so my crown chakra, when that went open, and then I was in my bedroom and I said, it's like there's a party. It's like there's a fucking party all the time. It's so fucking loud. And I've been saying that like for a couple of years, and there's so much noise, but it's like I can access that without being asleep, and so, and like I said, I can access it without going into meditation. Like I can just sit here and do it, like so. But I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've always heard this frequency. When he was explaining the realms and he said, the one that sounds like crickets or something, I was like, maybe that's where I'm always at. And, but as I said, I'm not just in this world, I'm in both worlds. Like both worlds are real, like where some people are just not, like they think that world's not real and thought I was so weird and crazy and stuff. And I was like, this world is real. And so, now we're going through all these different phases. Like some people are waking up and getting scared. Some people are waking up and getting excited about it. And some people are just very in denial about it, trying to understand what's happening. Oh, somebody got footage too where some Air Force planes were chasing a UFO. I think it was by Vegas or something. I'm not sure. I can share the footage if somebody wants to see it. It was real quick. And she was like, look at that. There's a UFO. Look, there's Air Force chasing or military chasing a UFO. But there's a lot. There's there's doorbell cameras catching shit. There's a really cool one where a doorbell camera caught, and it looks like a squirrel goes and gets into a bird bath, but it's light. It's just light, and it keeps morphing. And see, that's just seeing into a different reality. And but when I had done those mushrooms, I had seen, when I looked outside, I could see this difference. And I could see this gold path that was going through the forest. And I could see my house was in this path. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in a pathway, in a portal in a forest. And so then I I just had awareness of that. And then when my daughter came, because she stayed a couple of times, and I just want to say again about this weight thing, because when people keep being like, oh, you've lost so much weight or something, it's like, no, I just lost this thing off the front. My weight has not changed. My weight has fluctuated maybe 5 pounds. So, that's not some big thing. I mean, since this part where, where people had seen me and then they see me and then they're like, oh my gosh, you've lost so much weight or so skinny or something. But back more towards 2020, then I would say, okay, yeah, I've probably lost 15 pounds since I've started doing my whole healing journey. And then all the way back, though, from when my last marriage, that one was when I was at my worst. Then I would say I've probably, from that point, but this has been over years. So, like, in the first couple years, I was already thin, because the pictures from Spain and stuff. So I had already lost weight. So it's kind of just getting out of that relationship and then not drinking, like, because he drank every day and he wants me to sit, so I would have a glass of wine or something. And that's why I say, like, that shit's fattening. And then you think like, oh, a glass of wine, that's not that bad. Just quit drinking the glass of wine every day and see how much weight you lose. It's crazy. So, and then you do get caught up in that, oh, it's just a glass of wine. That's 110 calories. I can't be adding on that much. I don't know what the fuck it is with alcohol, but there's something weird about it. So, anyways, I just had to say that because I just feel like that there's people who would know me and be like, no way, you've lost a lot of weight. Like, no, I haven't. This is the same way, And I know for sure is because whatever, when the girl who stayed here was here the first time, before she left and went to Oklahoma, and we were trying to weigh her bag to see the weight on the plane. And then even when I had Jack, I would have to weigh me, and then I'd have to step on the scale to weigh the suitcase or weigh the dog. And so I know how much I weighed, and I know how much I weighed before it and how much after. So I did not all of a sudden lose a bunch of weight. I lost these artificial things off my chest, and it changed the appearance of me. And so that is trippy. But anyways, in the wetness, okay, what was I talking about that? Like, I was just, swear to God, I was just like skip all over the place. But so when I realized like I was in this like portal area, then when my one daughter was here, and I have said before, 'cause she's the Capricorn, and I'm Cancer, and so we are on the two poles, and so we are challenging to each other, and and I didn't realize like that when I was back in my insecurity days. It was like, I always felt like she was out to get me. Like, what the fuck? Why is she so mean to me? Why does she hate me so much and stuff? Like, it would, then when you start realizing, oh, she's challenging me, she's teaching me how to develop this side of me. And I didn't catch on to that until it was after my dark night. And then she had moved in the first time. And I was like so frustrated because I thought I'd done all this healing, and she's coming in, and then I was like all this challenge, and it's like, this is where I know where these people get caught up, and like, I'm not having anything to do with them anymore. I don't need this in my life. I've done all this work on me. But people don't realize like, oh no, this is your next challenge. This is for you, and then they come over and over and over and over until you meet where it is because you had a plan when you came in here. And you'll know you've met your goals when those lessons stop coming. Until then, yeah. And then come all, and then I know I had a big one about boundaries and stuff. So that is when she was coming, and I was and I asked my guides because I was so confused. I was like, what in the fuck is going on? And that's when they told me. It was like I needed to work on my boundaries. That is when I started understanding about this male and female out of balance parts of ourselves, and that I was really dependent on my female side that, oh, save me. Oh, save me. Like I was like, and it was easy to get saved. Like there was like guys waiting to save you, and then it's like, but they don't really see you. They don't really like you for you. It's like, yeah, that's a whole journey in life itself. That my journey was, my journey, and everybody has their own journey, and some of us have journeys that are similar to each other's, but they're all very unique and distinct. That is us. It's the us that we bring to the table for the universe. It's very important because it's that only you bring that to the table. And so it can be a whole bunch of these same scenarios, but each person has different things that occur. So much comes from every little thing. There's tons and tons of lessons that go on in life, that go out into the ethers, the voices that you hear, the voices of logic and stuff like that. It can be some message that your mother put out there into the ethers. And it's a familiar message that you can hear loud and clear. Like it's all, it's very vast, but it's very real. And so, confirmation. So anyways, so I learned about that part. Like all these things I talk about is things that I learned through this awakening process, this healing process. And because that's why things happen, so you can learn. And then I'm sharing about the stuff that I learned because I know that so many people are going through so many things, and it's easy to get really caught up in the drama and cut people out of your lives is way too difficult. I don't need this shit. And but really that holds you back on your own development, and it creates this fucking tie, this energetic tie. It's like so then you have to go back into other lives to work this shit out because it was too hard for you to work it out here, because this stuff has to be worked out. You have to let go of shit. So I would advise everybody to, when relationships seem difficult, to keep at it, keep chipping away, keep trying to find yourself in there. Like, what are you supposed to be developing or learning from this? And what does it bring up? And why does it bring that up? And those are very complex things. Like I've said, none of this stuff is easy. It takes your attention. It takes your dedication. It takes you having the desire to become the best version of you. And it's easy to surrender to the worst version of yourself and just give up and just let yourself go. And that is, like, so many people have done that and they don't even realize it yet. But anyways, and then, on that topic though of, because she left and then came back 2 more times. So it was, and each time it was difficult, very difficult, very challenging to each other. And there's a lot of arguing and misunderstandings and stuff. It's like we're talking different languages or something. And so it takes a lot of development. We have very different perspectives in life. And so, and we've got to be able to accept one another without trying to change the other person. So anyways, there's all this development of self that occurs when you have challenging relationships, and that people in your family, the ones that are closest in your orbit, are going to be the most challenging. And there has been this whole energetic direction that has been set forth in our society of cutting people out, and your family's not your family. What is it? Your family doesn't matter. Blood doesn't matter. It's you find your real family through love. I don't know. I just saw it too, and I was like, oh, that's funny. That's coming back now. That little saying. I can't remember what it is, but it has definitely been a thing. Like, your family doesn't really matter. It's the friends that you go out who all agree with you and you don't challenge you. That's your true family. It's like, okay. So that's as weird as this NPC thing. It's just like, okay, I don't think you're thinking this through spiritually. Like, go deeper, man. So the but you know, when the people come, you can't get frustrated, because you will be like, what the fuck, I have done all this work, and then you can be like, well, I've worked on myself, you stupid idiot, it's your fault we can't get along. You know, and then you've got to see these sides of yourself. Like, you're always getting to see sides of yourself when you start paying attention and stop trying to, you know, just notice what the other person's doing all the time to irritate you and make you mad. So, you know, to start noticing, like, why am I getting mad? Why am I getting irritated? What is triggering me right now? And there's a lot of things. So but in that time when she had been here, because I feel like that we have such strong energy together, is that we had created whatever, the energetic portal started being used. And that was that day that I talked about, where the TV started going into our conversation. And we were both laughing about it, saying, oh my God, we've opened a portal. And I don't even know if she remembers. I remember it fucking clear as can be. And you know, I've been here this whole time, and the portal has been open. And so I kept on thinking, you know, all of this stuff that goes on down the hall is all of these energies like passing through or something. So it's not like they're connected to my house, but it's like, I feel kind of like, okay, so if we were out walking somewhere in a forest or something, and then we came across something that was strange that we could see but wasn't clear, then we would stop and keep looking at it and keep looking at it. That's what I feel like is what there's sometimes is like this a lot of traffic or something, or a lot of watching me, but I don't know what I look like to them. I don't think that they're watching, like they're not seeing the same thing I'm seeing. They could just be like how in that video, how we could see this squirrel's energy going. Like the squirrel had died, but he didn't leave here. He stayed, and he's in a different dimension, and so a different vibration. And so the energy could be seen on this camera thing. I don't even know if we could see it with our naked eye. We maybe would just see like a flash of something. But because there are a lot of things being seen with the cameras right now that people can't see with their naked eye. But so the people, so the vibration of, so the vibration is, you know, wherever it is that they are going to or whatever. So I feel like I'm some kind of an anomaly in their reality or something. But in this space of travel through realities, and how I see it is, I don't know, kind of like the Wizard of Oz or something. Kind of like there's like still, okay, that was still the pages of the book. So the entire space, thinking of that being the book, and the layers of realities being the pages. And so the people who run this place, this habitat, that they have been exploring it for a long time, trying to understand things and understand us. They use us as like lab rats and stuff. And that's why they have all these like, you know, CIA documents and all this stuff of all those studies that they've been doing on us for a long time. And so in this one thing where the guy was just talking about in the 50s, they've known that we leave our bodies and go to all these different realms and stuff. So those different realms are around us, like in the pages of the book. They're just stacked, like right. And it's like your vibration. So where you're vibrating, this is what's real, is this right here. But in all these different vibrations on all these different pages, it's like a little bit different, like tuning into different radio stations. And so, but it's like these, for us, it's like these pathways to the different pages. So that is where the Wizard of Oz kind of thing, like going on the path to get to the next reality. the next page. Just like how, when I'm out driving on these roads and it's like I'm going through portals to get to the next reality, only it's their controlled portals. And so there's, but so in all these different realities, there's these different things that like wormholes or something with the portal, the place that you can move through is just a different frequency. So, and you have to still match that frequency. You can't move through a frequency that you can't match. And that is what, is going on here, is why we're raising our frequencies and stuff, is because then we can move through realities and go to other realities, and it's going to change our lives. But we have to open our minds and acceptance and stuff in this process. And not, because so many people get so scared and stuff. So the people, going through my thing, it's not like I feel like they're haunting me or something, but there's other, because it's a realm, it's like a travel destination. And so you have these, because they have instigators in the physical who are here to wreak havoc on us and kill us and stuff like that, then scare us and terrorize us. But they also have it in the other realms. So they have like these men in black kind of people, and like I don't even know, because some of it is done through astral projection and stuff, but then there's also those other kind of technologies that one guy was talking about, I think on the Shirka show or whatever, that they can go through a room without people seeing them, and that they can stop time, and like they can make everything freeze or something, and they can go through and do things like what they've shown in the movies, which seems really strange. That seems really strange. Like that they could just all freeze us and then they can move around. But I would think like they're moving outside of our time. So we could seem frozen, but they're in a different time and space. I would think, but I don't know. It's strange. But I know that is a thing, because I had that man in black in my fucking hall that day. And I know it was because you could just like, I could pick up his shape, his demeanor, his like I can pick up on certain things when I look down there. And he and it was so busy that day that I was like, okay, this is fucking intense. I've got to do. And I was being harassed, and I was like, I'm gonna sage. And this is where I started being like, okay, saging is just stupid. Like we think, oh, this is gonna do some good, but no, that guy laughed at me, and definitely made like, like I was an idiot or something. I don't know, the whole thing I could just tell he was a man in black. And then how I was sent, or how I was motivated to push, was through my energetic body. So I went in, took all this energy, and then I pushed out through my soul, like, and it was like I created a fucking tornado and pushed them out. And so, and then after that had happened, then I saw another girl months and months later, like, I don't even know, 4, 5, 6 months later, say like the exact same story. I was like, okay, that's confirmation. I'm not crazy. And her guides told her to do the exact same thing. And that is the same thing I did. So that, if you're being harassed, really pull into yourself and push out through your soul. Just energetically, just push, and come at it like a scream, like, get the fuck out. Very dramatic. Get the fuck out. And push. Like you can't be here. And but they still come back. But that guy is saying about we go to those realms and stuff, I think that they have people out there who can travel through these realms, like that they can go and move through them, kind of like the Matrix or something. So that's real. And we have all these dark entities and stuff like that. And then in these other realms where it's kind of like where I was saying the other day, how some of these people, how they don't evolve. So like when we, as reincarnators, when we come into an experience, then we leave the experience and then we go to the review and we go through, the what did we do wrong, what did we do right, how, kind of thing. And it's not for anyone else to tell you. You are the one who, it's like you and your guides, but it's not like your guide is judging you. The judgment comes from you because you are a god. You are going to judge yourself when you are not happy with what you did or something. And the thing is like in this life, you can't see confirmation. You can't see all of the things that you're doing because of the limited perspective. So that is when you go to your review, you get a full perspective so that you can understand yourself in a higher level. So we go through this process. So it's like choice and consequence. And we grow and develop. So we evolve as spirits. We evolve as souls. That is where, like where we really live is in a much higher realm. Like where you think of angels and stuff, you're an angel. You're not waiting on angels. So when you think angels are around you, those are your friends. Those are your guides. Those are your helpers. So you are of what you seek. So the things you are seeking, you are those things. But where I was saying how some of these other people who are just going into one life and then going into another life and then going into another life, not ever dying. Like they're just switching their consciousness, and when their old relic body wears out and they just go into a different body, like grave robbers, like stealing bodies, just going into another one. And yeah, because that's got the whole voodoo thing coming up in my mind now. Because that guy's got more. He said he's going to write a book from all the story, all the questions. He said he can't tell this stuff, but he's going to write a book and start saying because of all the questions that people are asking. And it's very interesting. It's so interesting how so much of the stuff is so new to people. So, but the voodoo black magic kind of thing, like, and how they're able to bring people, out of their grave months later and bring them back, like there's zombie people when you go to certain places. And in Haiti, like what this guy's saying, there's a lot. He said like one thing is like if a woman's husband is cheating with a girl, those girls are done for. Those women all go to the witch, they get spelled, they do all of this. Everything is like this black magic back and forth on each other. So it's very dark, but that is like a very primitive way of dealing with energy, but that is a way of learning. That's why I'm saying all of the different realities and stuff are all going through learning phases and experiences, because it may seem like, oh, they just do that until you go to your life review and then you see, and and the people who don't go into those evolving practices that just stay down here, that is where I think they start manning the dark realms. Like they can't move out of it. Like you have to go through the process. Otherwise it's like you're bound to it. It's like you're devolving. You're becoming less than what you were. So yeah, when you want to think about like demons and stuff like that, to me it's like would be angry souls that don't know how to evolve. So, and you got to remember too, is they're very limited over what they can do, and you don't want to give them more power. You don't want to start thinking of them having more power than you and stuff, because you are giving them power by doing that. So you don't want to, you want to be taking their power, stripping their power. You've got no say over me. You have no power over me. And when you can see big things like lurking, fucking huge things that look like that thing out of that movie, is big, tall, slim man or trim man or something. That's what this one looks like that kept being back there over the past couple days. It's very lurky, very, not like where I felt like it was gonna run down the hall and kill me or something, but just as like, it's like being out somewhere and somebody's just lurking. So, and you're just keep being like, what are you doing back there? It's like, fuck, man. And now this whole thing that's changed in my bedroom. It's like, fuck, man, I need to move all my clothes out of here. My clothes gonna become moldy? Like, what in that ghost story creepy shit is going on in here? Like I had said, my bedroom is this weird energy. Like there's something weird going on in my bedroom. I've been saying for a while, but now it's like next I'm gonna go in there, there's gonna be flies everywhere or something. Like, what the fuck? I think today I may do some saging in there or something. The fan's not drying it out at all. And it's like, man, is this all like premonitions? Is this all signs that this is going underwater? Like, fuck, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, there's so much stuff for it. It's like you're waiting to see. And then when you have communication, oh yeah, and what I saw the other day, because this is very different than what I have learned, what I've been going through. But this is somebody who I would say, that they haven't, there's a lot of steps to all this stuff. And there's a lot of things, people just waking up and then they don't know that they're just beginning. And so this girl was saying that as a psychic, that, kind of, I can't remember, say it all word for word, but basically she was saying, well, as a psychic, it's my duty to guide people and to tell them what's going to happen so that they don't make those mistakes. What have I been saying for so long? As a psychic, as somebody who can see the future all the time, who, it just opens up. And like people start telling you something and it's just like you just see all the stuff. And and there was a lot of time where I would try and stop people and tell people, don't do this or don't do that. And people would be like, I'll get irritated with you. And, well, you think you know everything. You don't, you're so negative or whatever. And, but in my learning, in my stuff, from my guides and stuff, it's because we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to be out there telling everybody, oh, don't do that, don't do this. It was like, it's more of you having to learn. And I think because like I know in this other life, I don't know in all of the orders of all these things. I just know that this one that I was shown, because it was like, I don't know, 2016 or something. I was getting so much weird shit. So much weird shit. And it was like when I looked in the mirror and I saw that angel man looking like this warrior. And so back around then, and I was trying to understand, like, who am I? What am I doing here? What the fuck is going on? And I had asked to be shown, and I had this horrible, oh God, this dream was so fucking intense. And it was so real. And some of these things, like when you go back and you look at them, it's just like sends the shivers towards you and through you. This one, so I had asked to see, who am I? What am I? What is my truth? What is my core? And the scenario was me. I was a scrawny looking woman, and I had long, but my hair was like this, only it was stringy long black hair. And I had on a black dress, and I looked like old, like I was very, like I would say, unattractive. And these soldiers were killing me. And I've had a lot of these I've been killed by a lot of soldiers in past lives. That's the one thing. Like, you see, like when you go and you start looking, it's like, fuck, man, these soldiers been around here a while killing us. Like, fuck, dude. So you go way back. You go way back. And those motherfuckers are still back there killing us. It's like, son of a bitch, man. I've been killed by a few of you motherfuckers. And so, but they killed me. But the whole thing, the way it was going, it was just like, oh man, it was wicked. And I was like, totally weirded out. And then I start getting all of these things about palm reading. I used to go to palm readers and stuff like that. Now I'm thinking, man, they were, I'd be told all the time I was going to be this, I was going to be this sought after spiritual guru person. And when you're being told that, like when you're 20 years old, it's like, what are you talking about? What? And I'm telling you, even, a few years ago, well, no, I wouldn't say a few years ago now, because now time has passed so much. But like the last time I had heard it, it was still like, it was hard to imagine, like like there's people out there who know all this stuff about spirituality. What do they need from me? And so I was like confused. Then when I started seeing different things on palm reading, and then I started seeing like, oh geez, I have all these really weird things on my palms. And one of them was something that was binding your magic. And that was something that would drive me crazy, because I was so new about magic, and I knew how things would work and stuff, but I couldn't get it to work. Well, it's because I was stripped of it at some point because of using it wrong. And that's why I try and say about, like, where people are like, say that they're witches now, that say that they were witches before and now they're witches, unless they're bringing forth this transmutation of energy. If they're still trying to play with the dark energy, like in Haiti and stuff, then that's where, you get stripped of your powers for a while. And so you have to go through some lives, I think more in service or something. But there's a lot of us who have gone through different lifetimes and have known the power of the universe and known how to access this magic and stuff. And if you don't use it right, because if you are trying to control it and you are trying to, like, black man, like a woman, this Haitian guy said that that they'll turn them into zombies, or if the woman's pregnant, they will do these things, and the women will give birth to a cat or a frog or something. He said this is real, like this really happens. And so those kinds of things, like the women who do that, that is like what I was. So I was somebody who used magic, and but you learn about it. That's the thing. That's why I try and say is, like, you learn about, that it's like the rules of magic. And so that is why, for all the people, because we're all witches, we all have access. We all, it's like you got to get in touch with this side of yourself. But that's why I was saying, like, where there's all these girls who are all like, they're witches, and they've been witches for, they were witches then and they're witches now. But if you wouldn't be doing the same shit. That's what I'm trying to say, because you learn. So whatever you are doing, like when you're using energy for, your own personal gain, and you are manipulating energy, you learn about the repercussions of that, so you don't come in and repeat it, because those are imprinted into your soul. So you learn those things. So you have these transitions. But, I know there's a lot of us who have had lifetimes where, we were pulling some shenanigans, but it was just out of balance with the how energy works. When you're creating interference, then that is going against the universal. It's like you're trying to, like, the universe has the river of flow, and you, because you have learned how to control the river, that you start going doing it. Because there's a whole thing, like, in this lifetime I have definitely been motivated and shown over and over about going into the flow, getting into the flow, not trying to fight it. So that's, you can get more idea of, like, how, like, the things that I say and stuff, where my learning comes from. And so there's been a lot of my life of learning about to not control it. to learn how to go with the flow, to that there's repercussions when you try and force things, that there is a counter. And so there's, a lot to it. We're all learning these things, and we're all at different stages of development. But all I was saying, like a while ago when I was saying about all these girls who were saying they're witches, but they're doing the same thing that they would have been doing, is like, that doesn't make sense to me. I would think that you would have learned that, and you would be doing things differently. And it's like the good witch or the bad witch. And the good witch is the one that goes with the flow and knows how to bring I don't know, it's like a power and an energy, but it's not to disrupt the flow. It's more of to be a part of it or something, because it's way more of I don't know. It's, to me, kind of like the difference of, the witch in her little cabin with her, her eyes of newt and lizard tail, and all these things in her pot over the thing, and just this, and then, rats and spiders and frogs and stuff. And then the other one is more of like Cinderella, like going out and singing and the things come to you. And it's like this totally different a harmony energy, and then a fear energy where you're trying to control it. And where we're all, trying to get to is the light, is get to the, go out and sing with the birds, to participate, because that is what really feeds your soul. The darkness is where you're trying to, you're still fighting against something. Something is, you feel like you can control it, or you need to control it. When you feel like you need to control something, it's out of fear and stuff. So anyways, but everything is about, learning how to, I just swear to God, it's about learning how to go with the flow. But I know that I've had some very distinctive lives that were there to show me that stuff. Oh yeah, and yesterday, when I was telling about that one lady's love story, past life love story thing, and I was said, it's kind of weird because she was from World War II. I had that past life, and I don't know. I assumed it was World War II because it was. I was a fighter pilot thing, but that is the life that I remembered, that I was a gay guy, and I really liked, I was like a single guy who just liked to have fun. And and what's weird too is like, you think like when you see these different past lives, like you'll see the whole thing. No, you see clips. You see little segments. And it's like the segments that you're shown are ones that have something to do with what you're learning about, or some to help you have an understanding. And they can show you these segments because it's a part of you, and you will have a deeper understanding of what it is that you're seeing. And so, yeah, I would say probably, I mean, we've got tons and tons and tons of past lives, but I would say probably in this life, I would say I've seen, I would guess like maybe 10 or something. And so it's like different things or different aspects of you that you are working on. Oh yeah, because then I've also seen my different characters that I've played too. So it isn't just like a past life. Well, I guess because the one girl, the one or the, and I see always, like, I've got to very intentionally shift my hips all the time. Like, it always goes out like that. It's so weird. And, but when I had seen her, because it was the same thing. I was like, I was looking in the mirror, but all of a sudden I could see her, and I could feel her, and I could feel her, just her sweetness and her, loving manner. She's just like, and I don't know if that is why I shift out to that hip, is like to remind myself like that's who I am inside of me or something. I don't know. It's weird. But I have an awareness of it. I just don't know, I haven't figured it out yet. But That is when I had seen, and the only snippet I had seen out of that was this carrying the water on this hip, and carrying these big things of water, and the feeling of being so playing such a huge role in my village, of being so important or something, and being so loved by people, because whatever I would go and trek, I'm sure I wasn't the only person, but go and carry these things of water back to the village from the thing. But that's what we used to have to do. We'd have to, humans would be right down on the water, and a lot of like tribes and stuff. Everything around our worlds is always revolved around the water. And sometimes, water wasn't just so accessible, like where you would have to have your homes in the water. So you would have like it being more uh, rudimentary or something, more, not flat or whatever. So then you have to go and build your houses, but then you have to still go for the water. And there's lots of places in Africa, from what I understand, where they have to go a long ways to get water sometimes. And I think that's what it was, more like that. Like I was definitely dark skinned. It was like, that's one thing too, is like, when you see yourself in a lot of lives, not very many lives are you're white. That's for sure. And you'll feel this strong connection to these different groups. Like I have a very strong connection to Indians, or the tribe people. I don't even know what to call them anymore. Like the people who were here, who lived as tribes, and then definitely with the Atlanteans and the Egyptians. But the other one is the Oriental. Like I have strong things of my life back then, and then one thing too is like where I said like I didn't eat meat and stuff. See, that could come also not because I was with the Dahmer party or something, and I'm horrified, but it can also be because in a culture that you were at, that you didn't eat meat, like that, the thoughts that people had over certain things, that you carry those in you, those become a part of you. So that's the reason why you have things that you like, you don't understand why you have this way or why you are that way or something. It comes from all these different lives. All these different lives are what form you into the you that you are at this point in time. And we're still in this development. Everything continues to always be in development, because everything is in movement. Nothing is stops and becomes stagnant. And that would be, where disease is created and stuff. So anyways, but there, you have all these different past lives and stuff. So and they can come in flashes. So it may be like where you just think like, well, that was weird, and what in the hell was that? And just, those things can be communication to you. So just, give those more attention, these little flashes, these little weird things and stuff like that, because it will help you to understand yourself more and be able to see yourself more clearly. So yeah, the black magic and all that stuff is very real, and there's very much different lifetimes that we've all gone and lived, and I wouldn't say every single person, because that is one thing that I have heard too, is like souls have different kind of treks or something. Like I would be a soul that would be on a trek towards this certain spirituality aspect, like and I would say probably because I've been doing it a long time, and I don't know, I just feel like I've been around for a long while, and like I've said, like I'm way closer to 60 billion years old, and that is a much more relevant thing to who you are, is what you are outside of here. What you are inside of here is just like, it's like nothing. It's like a costume. And the more that you can get in touch with yourself and understand yourself on all these different levels, then, the more your understanding of yourself is, like the complexity of you. And, and the, and it's trippy too, because in the different lives, one that you would go, like there's counterbalances and stuff. So even when you are seeing one life, you may not see all the other aspects of the lessons that you learned. So because all of the different things, there's always the other sides, and you go and you learn all the other sides. So everything is about seeing as much of something as possible to get the full range of emotions of how things happen, why we make the choices we make, why we do the things we do, what can push you to become this, what can push you to become that. What does it take for you to lose your mind and go, kill somebody or something? It's like all of these things are what your soul, what the universe is watching. That's what you are. You're like a play action hero thing, just playing out these different roles. In one sense, it's almost like it's entertainment, but it's like educational entertainment. And so, I don't know. I just think the people who are in it just take it a lot more. I don't know. There's a lot of shifting that needs to go on. A lot of shifting. And we are in the midst of the shift. Like things are changing and things are definitely speeding up and picking up. And there's a lot of talk about the 16th and 17th. So we've got days coming up that I don't know if it's something with the astrology or something. But then there's weird stuff with the astrology because there's just no, everything is just so weird. Yeah, and the whole thing is like all this stuff is going to happen. Everything is going to keep happening. Like, I swear to God, there's still people like, I think in Philly, you think like, oh, things will calm down. I mean, people in New York, oh, it'll get better. It's not going to get better. This is the end of these places. These places, like, you really need to be opening your mind of what's next. Where am I going next? And asking the questions, because these places, they're not coming back. They're going to go worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And there's horrible shit going on, like horrible, like fuck, man, like god damn, like fuck. It's crazy how horrible things can get. So, and it's going to get more horrible. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like pushing people out of the bar after the lights come on and the people won't leave and go home. And so all these people who they can't see that things could be different. Just like the one girl in California who was like, I've lived here my whole life, my whole family's here, I was born here, and now I've got to leave here and I know nothing else but here. I know nothing but California. And she was really, nervous and scared, but that was going to be a huge expansion for her to go out and learn and find other sides of herself. Like, you can't just be in one place and that's all you are. Like, there's other sides of you that you haven't even found yet. So, it's going to be very exciting once people start seeing that. But right now, it's just in this part where the lights have come on. And people are like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. What am I going to do out there? There's no place to go. I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to sleep. I got nowhere, and those things are, the challenges that the universe sets before you for you to begin to trust them of like, okay, well, you guys are setting me out here. So what's next? Where are you taking me? Where am I going? Because I need a place to sleep. I need this. I need that. So, give me what I need. And, and they'll do it. But, it's going to come in all different ways. And even though, people can get caught up in thinking that it's like going against them, it's not, because you are the one who came up with this plan. Like, it was written before you got here. You knew what you were coming for. So you got to just go. Oh, I've been talking a long time. So anyways, let me think. What was our, whatever. Everything is just strange. Everything's going to keep being strange. And, the things are going to keep being bad until the things shift. And as long as we have people holding on to the past, like I knew that that was coming, but you know, you just don't know how it's going to feel till it starts happening. Now it's just like, fuck, man. These people just, they just keep staying and staying and staying. Like, what the hell is going to happen? Is gonna blow up entire cities with people in it? Like, fuck, I don't know. I don't know what's to come. And just, you know, I do know there's going to be a lot of people who are leaving, and there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of shifting, a lot of quantum leaping through technology, which is going to be very destabilizing for a lot of people. And there's going to be a lot happening all at once. And it's going to be, you know, super crazy. And there's going to be a lot of bad shit that's going to go on. There's going to be a lot of people leaving the planet and a lot of things. And it's, you know, it's just like right up here. It's just like, you know, you can't see what day, but it's kind of like it's already started. Like it's already going. It's already in the thing. It's just going to keep building. And things are going to keep becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And my advice to everybody is just keep letting go of shit. Just keep letting go and knowing, like, I don't need to hold on to this. Things are going to get better. Things are going to be better. And, you know, things are going to shift. We're going to be new places, new things, new people. And it's going to be exciting. It's just scary. You know, change is scary, especially when you don't know how it's going to go down. And it's very dramatic. So, but, you know, just the whole thing of what's going on here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.